Hello there, my name is Tommy Lee with snom. You have just purchased a snom 821. Take it out of the box and now you want to make this phone work with Lync. I just took this phone out of the box today and just powering it up for the first time. When it is powered up for the first time, all of the phones ship with non-OCS or non-UC edition firmware. What that does is it gives it the capability to take advantage of all of the SIP products that are out there, but does not contain many of the value-added features of Lync. This is a continuation of the film put together by Tim Kohler on how to get to the OCS firmware, but I'll assume you've already got to that point. Now I'll take it and taking that firmware and putting it on the phone itself. Now once you plug it in, if you're not too familiar with phones, you may have seen the phone's IP address pop up as you are going through the power-up cycle. If you've missed that, you can actually get that by going to the menu screen here, and you will see maintenance here, of which you'll see system information 1, and then you'll actually see the IP address 192.168.1.66. You could take that information and put it onto your web browser. In this case, I'm using Internet Explorer, and there we take it from there. All right, so let me back out of this mode and go to my Internet Explorer here, and I've actually already done that. So what I've done is taken that same information, put it on 192.168.1.66, and this is the actual menu screen that you'll see on this phone. On this phone, you'll see a lot of different pieces of information. This is the home screen, the software update screen. This is the screen that will actually take you to do the updates, but one of the things I want you to notice is that here there is no OCS data key, and what that means is that it's got the standard firmware that it shipped out with the phone that doesn't have the UC Edition firmware in it. To do that, all you would have to do is go to the software updates, like here, which we got on here, and then go to the firmware partner page in which Tim Kohler had presented earlier, and go to the firmware. So once you go down to the snom OCS, you just click here, as he's shown. Okay, boom, here you go. Now, in this case, it's a snom 821. You'll find several different links to this firmware. If you have a 300 series, all you got to do is click on this link. But in the case for the 821, you'll notice that this version is here. You just do a right click and then do a save target as. Okay? And when you do that, what it will do then is then you go to your management screen on the 821. Whoops, sorry about that. Put it here and then do a paste. Ah, there you go. So once it's loaded in there, that's the UC link to get the firmware, and then all you have to do is type load. And when you type load, you notice that the phone itself is reacting. It is on, and you'll see it going through its software load page. Now, just to give you a little bit of background while the phone is loading the new firmware, you'll also figure, like, my goodness, you know, do we have to go through all this? The answer is no. Typically in the first prototype stage, you buy 1 or 2 phones. You go ahead and deploy it in your department to see if the phones work out for you. But when you're ready to mass deploy in the tens, hundreds, if not thousands of phones, we have a product called snom Active, which you'll see in this piece of firmware here. What that does is it is a web-based firmware tool that we're providing to our partners that give you the whole ability of, once you get the firmware, configure the phone to the way you want it to do, then you can deploy hundreds if not thousands of these phones all in one place without by just taking the phone out of the box, plugging it in, and then being able to deploy the phones right out of the box onto your desk phone. To give you a little bit of background, it really is a managed solution where we have Snom Active located in the cloud, and from there you could actually locate several different customers and departments where it'll actually do the firmware and configuration setting all on its own. It'll actually load. This could be your marketing department, your sales department, or it could even be different customers that you have depending on what kind of load they're looking for. And you can automatically load these phones with those particular settings for you. So if that's the type of setup you want, this is a day-to-day management type of tool that you can use. To get more information, you can go to information@snomactive.com, or you can, contact anybody at Snom to do this. In addition to just configuration, you'll also see that you can also load different VLAN settings, ringtones, lots of different settings that you can do with the phones. There are actual hundreds of settings that you can set up that you can automatically deploy. On a day-to-day basis, it also has a password management system and more, so that on a day-to-day basis, whether it's every 90 days or 60 days or 120 days, this software will actually go through and automatically load those settings at the customer site, so you don't have to modify any kind of, so you don't have to see what the end customer's password is. So the good news is that the IT person doesn't get involved in the day-to-day updating of software. Here's some updated tools that we have. Basically what you do is you plug in the phone. All you need to do when you get this thing set up is to load all of the different MAC addresses onto the server once it's set up for you. And then at that point in time, you can just take the Snom provisioning and it sends the XML tool directly to it, and it will load all the particular settings based on the 821 for the marketing department or the 821 for the sales department. If both of them have different configurations, it will load it automatically. It is a managed tool, actually based in out of the UK, based on here, so it's really 99.999% redundant. We are offering this free to all Snom partners. There is a small charge if you want to use this as your corporate tool, and we do have a small OEM service charge just to basically provide your brand name so that no one else knows that it's actually our tool that you're using. So even though when it's live it actually has a redundant background, and this tool is being used today for some very large customers. Okay? As the phone is updating on your right hand side, it's still loading it. Here are some of the tools that you might see in this thing for device control. In this case, you'll see the Snom 300. You'll see different profiles of Lync Group, Snom UK. You could actually see the internal configurations. There is actually a help line that's available that when you look up on the web, there is information out there that's more to you. If you want some more information, contact your vendor or contact Snom. Either way will help you out. This one here for particular Lync users, you can set it up per individual if you wanted to, and actually have username and password and set different passwords when they actually delete. One of the things that this system does is it sends out to the user the ability to say, hey, your password is updated, so if they update their Active Directory, they can go ahead, get this system, they can load it onto it, and this particular password that's unique gets sent in, and what they do is they go ahead in and update it with their particular email name and password to their new password, and that is it. You just have 5 minutes to go and reboot your phone, and once that is done, it is done. So, we get all kinds of inquiries on how to do this, and we try to automate this for our partners as much as possible. Okay? Some of the slides that you saw early on that you'll see this 821 do is the ability to support Lync. So once the Lync firmware is loaded, you'll actually see things like Tim Kohler. It does have the ability to load all the different color schemes that you're used to on your Lync mock client. You'll see green is available, busy, do not disturb, etc. But you can also get your contact list just by clicking on this user button here on Access Users, and you'll actually see your mock loaded onto the phone and being able to update the entire thing. So that's kind of a quick update. You can also set your own presence, which is something pretty unique to our phones. Is you press that button with the PC on or off, you can actually just walk away and go, oh, guess what? I'm in the middle of a meeting. Just go ahead and set that button to whatever setting you want to, and then just walk away. So this phone is pretty much a traditional business phone that you can continue on and do your own business. Okay? Anyhow, that's where we stand now. I'll wait till the phone pops up, and we will take it from there. Now that the screen is up and the firmware has been loaded on the phone now, I've gone ahead and taken the same IP address of the phone, loaded onto my web browser, just like as you see here, and what you'll notice is what looks to be a very similar menu, but now what you have now is OCS account data. So now you have 12 different registers, and you can actually load up to 12 different Lync accounts here. But one thing I like to do before I begin doing my settings is get this phone to a reset state. So what I'll do is I will go to the advanced state and just issue a factory reset. So I click on advanced, I go to update, and what I do is I press the reset button. Okay, and it'll go through its settings, and then it'll come back. Attention, do you want to do it? The answer is yes, and we'll continue from there. Okay. Hi there. Now, the phone has just been gone through a factory reset. I know that because now it is prompting me for the different languages. I'll go ahead and put, in my case, English. And in this case, I'm actually located in Pacific time. I'll click on this, tone scheme, USA. Now it comes to the welcome screen. What I'll do here is I'll then take the same IP address, which I did before. This time, instead of HTTP, I'll actually put HTTPS, because right now with the UC interface, it has the security features have been added on to be in compliance with Lync. So now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and boot this thing up with 66, and let's just see what I come up with. Okay, I come up with this. And here's what I see. Now what I see here is really what I look at is the user interface. This interface now has been far shortened because it is the end user interface. I see OCS account data. Assuming that you're an administrator, what I can do is to get back to those administrative software is to get this thing in administrative mode. So what I'll do here is I will go to Preferences. Let's see, is this it? No, let me go back. Time zone, language display, 4 maintenance, administrator mode. Okay, I will go to 2, and then the default password is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's 4 zeros. Now all of a sudden it says user mode. What happens when I come to this now is I will come here and actually see, voila, here it goes. Here are all the different identities. I will just go to the UC account data, which is a brand new screen here, and I would put my password here, TO. This is typically the same password you would put on your Lync mock client. And press save. Let's see what happens. Okay, fantastic. What you notice on the right hand side is the ability to see my extension. You notice when I pick it up, it actually went red for a bit. Now it's green. And when you look at Identity 1, you'll actually see a lot of my information here. Identity 2 is active, is inactive, and so on. All these identities can be a mix now between Lync clients as well as other SIP clients outside the phone without the use of any kind of screen. So right then and there you have it. You've updated the software, now it's updated, and the good news is you could take all of these particular settings after you set your ringtones and things like that and just push it on to hundreds, if not thousands, of different phones. Okay? So if you have any questions, feel free to contact any of our snom partners or contact snom. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.